Hello, and welcome to the Bloom Runner Bloom Advising Series presented by the Resilience and Retention Academic Advising Program. Today, we will be discussing understanding university policies. Academic advising wants you to stay sharp, be prickly, and bloom brightly. Now, this presentation is presented by the Resilience and Retention Advising Team. The Resilience and Retention Advising Team is comprised of 3 senior academic program advisors, Brandy Barksdale, Sarah Tate, and Michelle Tenza. In the presentation today, we will discuss 4 university policies: probation, grade replacement, third attempt rule, and the graduation requirements, which of course is everybody's favorite topic. So we'll begin with academic probation. A student is considered to be on academic probation when the UTSA GPA is at a 1.99 or lower. A 2.0 is the required minimum UTSA GPA in order to be in good academic standing. Now, if a student is on academic probation, there are 3 different components to consider. The first one is the hour limitations. So students that are on academic probation are limited to 13 hours in the fall and the spring semesters and 7 hours in the summer. Basically, the students are allowed to take 4 classes in the fall and spring and 2 classes in the summer, with that additional hour provided for any classes that have a lab attached to them. And you can always look up the course numbering system to see how you can tell how many credit hours that class is worth. Basically, the last number is going to tell you the number of credit hours that class is worth. Now, once you've registered for the semester, then the average of the grades for that semester is going to determine whether or not the student remains active. So it is the semester GPA that must be a 2.0 or higher in order to remain an active UTSA student. And if you go to the academic probation portion of the information bulletin, it will give you all of the details for this. Now, after the semester has completed and the student has earned a 2.0 or higher, then the next step is going to be determining the academic standing. So the system will go in and calculate the new UTSA GPA. And if a student is at a 2.0 or higher, then that student will return to good academic standing. If the student is below a 2.0, then that student will remain on academic probation. So what if the term GPA is below a 2.0? Well, unfortunately, at that point, if the semester GPA is not a 2.0 or higher, when a student is on academic probation, that student will be dismissed from UTSA. Another question that we get frequently is whether or not probation needs to be cleared within 1 semester. And the answer to that is no. As long as that semester term GPA is a 2.0 or higher, students can remain active and continue taking classes towards their degree progress. The caveat to this is that students must be in good standing in order to graduate. So if you begin the final semester below a 2.0, then that UTSA GPA must be at a 2.0 or higher at the end of the semester in order to graduate from UTSA. So what happens if a student is dismissed? If it is the student's first dismissal, that student will need to sit out for 1 semester. For example, if a student is dismissed at the end of the spring semester, that student must sit out the summer semester and then will need to apply and petition to return to the fall semester. After the second dismissal, the student must sit out for 3 full semesters for 1 year. Again, student is dismissed at the end of the spring. that student will need to sit out that summer, fall, following spring, and then will need to reapply and petition to return that following summer or later. Now, if a student is dismissed a third time, unfortunately, that student is no longer eligible to return to UTSA and would need to attend an alternate university in order to attain a degree. Now, if a student is on probation, we strongly recommend that a student sees their advisor each semester. This is a good practice regardless of academic standing, but it is more important for students that are on probation because the advisor wants to support you. They want to let you know that you can do it, along with providing the resources that can help a student be successful. And the data shows that students that see their advisor have a higher rate of graduation and have a higher rate of graduating in fewer semesters, of staying on track with their intended degree plan. So the next policy that we'll talk about is grade replacement. And this is a really important policy, especially for students that are on academic probation. So the grade replacement policy allows a student to repeat a course in which they received a D plus, a D minus, or an F. So if a D plus or lower was earned, student retakes the class and a higher grade is earned. Only that higher grade is used in the GPA calculation. Now, there is a limit. A student may only repeat or replace a maximum of 4 courses. Additionally, all of the grades will show on the transcript. That permanent record that was talked about in high school, that's pretty much what a transcript is. So all of the grades will show on the transcript. However, only the higher grade is going to be used in the GPA calculation. And because of that, grade replacement is the fastest way to increase your UTSA GPA. And for students that are on probation, it is the fastest way in order to retain or in order to return to good academic standing. Now, there's also the 3-attempt rule. So the 3-attempt policy says that the third or subsequent attempt at taking a specific course will result in an additional charge. And that charge is fairly significant. It roughly equals out-of-state tuition charges, which means it's for a 3-credit class, it's about $1,000. So what is considered an attempt? An attempt is any time a student is in a class past the census date. So student takes a class that is the class requires a C minus or better to move forward. First attempt at the class, the student earns a D. Second attempt at the class, the student withdraws from the class halfway through the semester and has a W on the transcript. The third time that student takes that class, there will be the surcharge from the 3-attempt rule. So if a grade, a W, or an NC from the credit no credit option is earned in a previous attempt, then the 3rd attempt charge will apply. Now we're going to discuss everybody's favorite topic, graduation. Now, for graduation, there are some requirements to be met in order to have the degree conferred. Number one is there is a minimum of 120 hours. So of these 120 credit hours, a minimum of 39 hours needs to be at the upper division level. So an upper division course is a course that begins with a 3 or a 4, a junior, senior level course. For students who have brought in transfer credit, a maximum of 66 community college hours can be applied towards your degree progress at UTSA. And then the residency requirement states that 24 of the last 30 hours must be taken at UTSA. Previously, this was important for students who intended to study abroad. Also, it shows that um, students who want to complete their core at a community college should not wait until the end to complete that core. You will need to complete those classes prior to your final 2 semesters or prior to the final 24 hours that you take at UTSA. Additionally, all students must be in good standing in order to graduate from UTSA. So a 2.0 UTSA GPA or higher is mandatory in order to have the degree conferred. Now, of those 120 hours, it's not just any 120 hours. There is going to be specific coursework. There's the core curriculum, the required courses for the declared major, and the required courses for a declared minor. This is important because sometimes students change their mind about the minor, but do not let the advisor know so that the system can be updated to show that that minor will not be completed, and it can prevent graduation. So anytime you want to make that sort of change to your curriculum, whether it's to declare a major, declare a minor, or to undeclare the minor, it's really important to talk to your academic advisor to have that done officially so that it doesn't delay your graduation. Now, once you know that everything is going to be done, you know exactly what semester you're going to graduate and complete the requirements. At that point, you will apply for graduation. Now, a few things about applying for graduation. Number one is you want to make sure to apply for graduation the semester that you will actually complete the requirements. So it is um, it is common for students who want to participate in the May graduation ceremony to apply for May, even though the classes won't be completed until the end of the summer. In that case, you do want to apply for summer graduation. It will give you the option to walk in May or to walk in December. Now, the graduation application itself only takes about 10 minutes maximum. Um, Basically, it is going to have you verify the spelling of your name. It will have you verify your mailing address as the diploma is mailed to you approximately 45 days after the end of the semester. And then it is also going to ask you some survey questions, such as what were 5 resources that helped you reach this graduation goal? And what are 5 barriers that caused issues? Then challenges for you to get to this point. So, as I said, about 5 to 10 minutes in order to complete that application. But the application is mandatory in order to let the university know that you are completing the requirements. Now, the graduation application is found on ASAP, and the graduation application deadlines are prior to your final semester. So for the spring semester, the graduation application deadline would be November 15th. For a summer graduation, the application deadline is June 15th. And for the fall, you would need to apply for graduation by July 15th. And the reason that we have you do that is the graduation application signals to the advisor that you are going to be completing the requirements. And therefore, the advisor will go in and complete a graduation audit. This way, with the graduation application being early, if there are any issues, if something needs to be changed, then there is time to correct the issue or find a solution prior to that semester so that you can graduate on time. Because after all, that is the goal, right? And that is what we as advisors want for you. So thank you very much for listening to our presentation, and finish strong and have a great semester, and best wishes for your academic journey.